Hello everybody, this is Brett Darian here, and this is all I have to show you today. A pack of 5 CD-RW discs in their own individual slim jewel cases. And while this may look like just an ordinary pack of 5 CD-RW discs, what interested me about this particular pack was the free software it came bundled with. And they claim it's a $30 value, and it's NTI FileCD. And it says here, this is your floppy disk replacement. Format a CD-RW disk into what they call a Mega-Floppy. Now, from what I've researched, FileCD is a piece of software that launched in 2005, and it just allowed you to copy files from your PC to a CD-RW disk and drag and drop them, kind of like a floppy disk, only you have the higher capacity of a CD instead of the 1.44 megabytes, which was the standard capacity of a floppy disk. And this has a copyright year of 2001, and it's compatible with 4x, 2x, and 1x recording speeds. And NTI is actually still around, but now they just sell some like backup software and stuff, so I could not find any reference at all to FileCD on their website. And if we open the package up, we can see the 5 individually wrapped CD-RW discs in their own cases. And here's the software. FileCD from NTI, licensed by Memorex. As easy as a floppy, as powerful as a CD. For Windows 95, 98, NT, 2001, ME, and XP. Copyright 1997 to 2001. New Tech Info Systems Incorporated. So yeah, we're going to install this software, and we're going to try to make some Mega-Floppies. Alright, now we're at my laptop. This is running Windows XP, and I've already installed the software. So when I try to run the software, you see it does come up here with this splash screen. And this is version 2.0. And I think there was a later version released, maybe 3.0 or 2.5. But all the download links I found online to download that version of the software, none of them worked. So this is the only version of the software I have access to, which is 2.0. But if I click on continue here, it gives us this error message. And it says here that no supported CD-RW drive was detected on your system. So what I did not know is that this software is only compatible with certain CD burners. This laptop does have a CD-RW drive, so I just thought that any CD-RW drive would work. But it is not. It is only compatible with certain drives. But I still wanted to use the software though. And if we go to the FileCD README file, it does conveniently give us a full list of compatible supported CD-R/RW drives, and you can see them right here. Now I'm assuming that most of these drives are internal drives, but I needed an external drive to use this software with my laptop. And the only drives here that I knew off the bat were external drives were these ZipCD drives right here by iOmega, like this ZipCD 650, the ZipCD 650 USB, and that's the one that I think would work in my situation. And here it is, an iOmega ZipCD 650 external CD burner. You see here it has a window on the top, so you can see the disk spinning inside. That's something no internal drive gives you, so that's pretty cool. Now on the back here, we got your USB connector for connecting to your PC, and this just uses a standard printer cable, so if it doesn't come with the cable, you can just use one of those, it'll work just fine. And here we have what looks like an S-video connector, but this is actually for your power adapter. And here we have 2 RCA audio output jacks. So if you're playing a music CD here in the drive, you can send the audio out to a pair of external speakers or your hi-fi system, and you can play your music that way. But there are no controls in the front, though, for CD playback. So there's no like play button or stop button or anything, or skip tracks. All you get is the eject button and a couple of activity lights and your headphone output and a dedicated volume adjustment for the headphone jack. But that's it. So overall, a pretty basic drive, but this is compatible with the FileCD software. So if you're looking for that, and you're looking for an external drive, this might be your only choice. I'm not entirely sure. But anyhow, we're going to use this to run the FileCD software. So I guess we'll use one of those CD-RW discs that came in the pack to use as our Mega-Floppy. So unwrap it here. And yeah, here we go, a Memorex disc. Is it live? Well, it's about to be. Alright, so let's make a Mega-Floppy. Before we do that though, how about we label our Mega-Floppy? So this is what the label is going to look like. Just like that, Mega-Floppy. And I'm just going to call this Mega-Floppy 1 because this is the first Mega-Floppy I'm making. Let's put in the disk. Perfect. Alright, I have the iOmega ZipCD drive connected. So now when we try to load the software up, it just comes right up. And here we have the drive that we're using as our CD burner, the iOmega ZipCD 650 USB. Unfortunately, I think it only uses the 1.1 USB speed, so this is not going to be a fast process, but this is just for novelty, and we're just doing this for fun. So the first thing to do is to insert our Mega-Floppy disk. And it is now ready to burn. So now we get a message on the screen saying a non-FileCD formatted disk is detected in the selected drive. Would you like to format the disk now? And so yes, we would. And if you're inserting a brand new blank disk, you must do a full format. I think a quick format is just to erase a currently formatted FileCD disk. So if you have a CD that's already been formatted as a FileCD and you just want to erase it, you can just do a quick format and that'll erase the disk. And we can just use the standard ISO 9660 format. So we'll start the format and we'll see how long this takes. It looks like this may take a while. You can see the ZipCD drive doing its thing. And we are only at 3%. And it's been about 43 seconds. Now we're at 4%. So it looks like maybe 5% a minute. So then that would take, what, about 20 minutes to do this? This is very exciting. Is this not very exciting? Waiting for our Mega-Floppy to format. And we are currently at 31%, and it's just been a little more than 6 minutes. So it looks like this is going to take a full 20 minutes to format. If you were using an internal drive, this process may go a little faster, but I don't know. Maybe it's just always this slow. Alright, it says it's 100%, but apparently it still isn't done because it's still... stuff is still happening here in the drive. So, I guess that progress bar is a lie. It's not really 100% done yet. I think it's finally finishing up. I heard it, like, do something. I mean, it still says it's formatting the disk, though. But I thought it was finally going to finish up. But it's not done yet. Oh, see, there it goes again. But it's still not done. It's still going. Okay, I think now it might be done. Oh, okay. Now we're verifying the disk. So now it is verifying the format that it just did. That shouldn't take another 20 minutes, right? Alright, I think it's finally done. Yes. Format was complete. And it only took 33 minutes. So now our Mega-Floppy is finally ready to use. So now it detects there is a FileCD disk in the drive. And now I guess we can just start dragging and dropping files into the disk. Alright, so this is a 90 megabyte WAV file. So I'm going to try dragging this into the software and see what it does. Would you like to copy the selected files or folders to the disk? Yes. And it is now copying the file to our Mega-Floppy. But keep in mind though, this only writes at 4 times speed. So it is going to take some time. Unfortunately, it doesn't give an estimated remainder time. But it looks like it'll take a few minutes. Of course, this is also the smallest. Well, this is a 90 megabyte file. So now that the file has been written, it says you must open and close the tray or eject and insert the caddy before the changes will take effect to other applications. The system will refresh the CD volume after the tray or caddy is ejected and closed. Do you want to do this now? Well, why not? And so it ejects by itself, and then it inserts again by itself. So I guess you gotta do this for every file that you write. But now the file is now on the Mega-Floppy. So overall, that process took about just under 5 minutes to write the file to the disk. So now I'm going to write this folder here. This folder is actually smaller, but it contains several documents and other stuff on it. So we're going to copy that over to our Mega-Floppy as well. Okay, so it's showing the process here of each individual file from the folder that is being written to the disk. So it's going from one file in the folder to the other. And so it is showing progress of each individual file that's being written. Alright, so that folder is now written to the Mega-Floppy. And that took about another 3 minutes or so to do. And I had to do the same trick of ejecting the disk and reinserting it again. So another way you can add files is by clicking this button here, and then you can explore various sources for adding files if you don't want to, if it's not convenient to just drag and drop. So we can do this here, and this is the next file I'll be adding, and this is 474 megabytes. And as you can see here down below, there's actually not enough free space left to write this file, because even though this is a 700 megabyte disk, you really only get access to 575 megabytes of the disk. So right now we're using 148 megabytes, and there's only 427 megabytes free. But since this is a CD-RW, and this is supposed to be used as a floppy disk, we should be able to delete the file, and then we'll have enough free space to write that other file. So let's see how it deletes a file. Okay, well, once again it asks me to open and close the tray, but I guess it did delete the file. It didn't take anywhere near as long to delete the file as it did to write the file. And notice the numbers change down here. Now it says we have 485 megabytes free. So now we can add that file that I was wanting to add earlier. So now we are copying this file, which is, again, like 470 something megabytes, and there's only 485 megabytes free, so this will just about fill up the Mega-Floppy. Alright, so that file has now copied over, and that actually took about 20 minutes to copy that file over. So that actually took even longer than I thought it would. But again, that file was about 485 megabytes. Actually, that took up just about every little bit of free space that was left on that disk. So I bet now it will say the free space is 0. Let's look. Okay, well, it says there's 10 megabytes free. But yeah, so this is very slow, of course, nowadays. But it's really hard to go back to a time where you had to wait a long while for a large file to copy over. But this was the experience you pretty much, that you had, 20, 30 years ago. Let's try playing one of these files. Okay, well, it is playing. Yeah, I'm not hearing anything here. It looks like it... Yeah, the audio is cutting out there in that section of the track there. It is cutting out. So this may not have even copied the file over correctly, because it is not playing very well. So, I guess I don't recommend doing this today, but again, this is just for fun, just to see what the experience was like. And overall, I'd say, I just can't recommend it. Now you might be asking, hey Brett, what would happen if you put the Mega-Floppy into a modern PC? Well, it does work, actually. It does read the files on the disk, and this FileCD here is just the name of the disk. I'm sure it's not actually detecting it as a FileCD, But you can click on the files and access them, and it will play the file as well. It might take a few seconds for it to load, but it does work. It does play the file. But unfortunately, if we seek through the track here, you can hear the gaps again in the audio. You know, like right there. And it looks like they are in the same spot as they were when I was using it on the laptop. So I don't think it's because of the like the read speed of the drive or something. It's just, you know, again, it just seems like the file was not copied over correctly. So that is unfortunate, and that makes this software kind of pointless. If the files are not going to copy over correctly, that totally defeats the purpose of this software, so then there really is no reason to use it. So that has been the FileCD experience. Copying files, erasing files, and using a CD-RW disk as a Mega-Floppy. Overall, I would say the experience is very slow by today's standards. I mean, we're just so spoiled today with our SD cards and USB flash drives that have dozens of times the capacity of one of these CD-RW or CDR disks, and it's so much faster and so much easier. You don't need special software. Even when I think back to it, I really don't know what the point of this software really is, because Windows gives you the ability to write files to a CD-R or CD-RW, so I don't really know why you would need a specific program to do that, other than just being able to call it, you know, a Mega-Floppy. But either way, I mean, the software did work, although if you did use this software back in the day, you know, maybe it's possible that it didn't copy over your files correctly and they were corrupted somehow, and you couldn't use them once you copy them. But that may not have been the experience all the time. I'm really not sure. But anyway, though, that's it. If you want to use this software yourself and try it out, this very CD, I do believe, is archived online, so you can find it on archive.org and try it yourself if you want to, but I'm assuming your experience will be very similar to my experience here. Though I would be curious, though, if some of those drives that were supported, maybe some of them supported a faster write speed, maybe 8 times. And if that were the case, then in theory, the process may have taken half the time. Like maybe it would only take 10 minutes to format a disk. But anyhow, guys, I hope you enjoyed this look at FileCD. Let me know what you think in the comments section. But until then, though, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.